Are you tired of striking out in the game of love? Do you feel like you're stuck in a perpetual cycle of bad dates and fleeting connections? Well, stop blaming the stars, the universe, or your bad haircut. The truth is, you might be your own worst enemy. Here on Man of Thoughts, we don't sugarcoat things. We delve into the raw, unfiltered reality of human behavior. And today, we're diving deep into the abyss of your lonely heart to uncover the 10 behaviors that are keeping you single. Get ready to face the uncomfortable truth, because we're about to shine a light on the dark side of your personality. The side that might be sending potential partners running for the hills. Communication, the cornerstone of any successful relationship. It's the bridge that connects two souls, allowing them to share their thoughts, dreams, and deepest desires. But what happens when that bridge crumbles under the weight of miscommunication and unspoken words? John, as Mark. Sarah, a master of the dramatic sigh and the eye roll, expects me to read her mind. Sophia, as Sarah, Mark, on the other hand, communicates primarily through grunts and shrugs, convinced that his actions speak louder than words. Their inability to communicate effectively has created a chasm between them, leaving them feeling isolated, misunderstood, and utterly alone. Love, a beautiful, intoxicating dance between two souls. But like any good dance, it requires space and balance. Enter the stage 5 clinger, a master of turning a romantic waltz into a suffocating stranglehold. Carlos, as Bob. Imagine this. You're dating someone, things are going well, maybe a little too well. You find yourself bombarded with texts, calls, and surprise visits from your overly affectionate partner. John, as narrator, they're like a lovesick koala, clinging to you with an almost desperate intensity. Carlos, as Bob. Take, for instance, Bob. Bob's idea of a romantic gesture is showing up at his girlfriend's office with a singing telegram and a bouquet of lilies, her least favorite flower, might I add. Remember, love needs room to breathe. Give your partner space, respect their boundaries, and for the love of all that is holy, put down the singing telegram. Trust, the very foundation upon which any healthy relationship is built. It's the belief in another person's honesty, integrity, and unwavering loyalty. But what happens when that trust is shattered, replaced by suspicion, doubt, and an unshakable belief that your partner is up to no good? Sophia, as Susan. Let me introduce you to Susan, the queen of suspicion. Susan's love life is a never-ending game of Clue, where every innocent glance, every missed phone call, every unexplained absence is a potential piece of evidence in her mind's elaborate game of infidelity. John, as Tom. Her partner, poor unsuspecting Tom, can't even glance at a menu without Susan interrogating him about the attractive server he's clearly fantasizing about. Sophia, as Susan. His phone is constantly under surveillance, his emails scrutinized, his every move analyzed for any hint of betrayal. But in doing so, she's inadvertently pushing away the very thing she craves most. A love built on trust, honesty, and unwavering faith in her partner.
Life is a tapestry woven with threads of joy, sorrow, triumph, and disappointment. It's how we choose to perceive this tapestry that determines our overall outlook on life.
Enter the Eternal Pessimist, the master of focusing solely on the frayed edges and missed stitches, oblivious to the beauty of the overall design. Take, for instance, David, a man who could find a rain cloud in a snowstorm. David's glass is always half empty, his mood perpetually overcast.
He approaches every date with the enthusiasm of a condemned man walking the Green Mile, convinced that disappointment is inevitable. He's a master of negativity, always ready with a cynical remark, a pessimistic prediction, or a soul-crushing observation about the futility of it all.
His negativity acts as a repellent, driving away anyone who dares to bring a little sunshine into his life. The truth is, David's pessimism is a defense mechanism, a way to protect himself from the potential pain of disappointment.
We all have our ideals, our visions of what constitutes the perfect partner.
But when these ideals become so rigid, so unattainable, that they prevent us from seeing the very real and wonderful people standing right in front of us, we've crossed over into the dangerous territory of unrealistic expectations.
Meet Emily, a woman who spent years crafting the image of her ideal man in her mind.
He's tall, dark, handsome, with a 6-figure salary, a passion for poetry, and the ability to quote Shakespeare at length.
The problem is, I'm so caught up in my fantasy that I fail to see the perfectly lovely, albeit slightly less Shakespearean, men who dare to ask me out.
My unrealistic expectations have turned my love life into a perpetual waiting game, a never-ending search for a man who only exists in the confines of my imagination.
She's convinced that settling for anything less than her idealized version of love is a betrayal of her deepest desires. Relationships, like any worthwhile endeavor in life, require effort.
They demand time, energy, and a willingness to put in the work to nurture and sustain the connection.
But what happens when one party decides to treat love like a spectator sport, passively observing from the sidelines while expecting their partner to carry the entire weight of the relationship on their shoulders?
Let me introduce you to Ethan, the king of minimal effort.
Ethan's idea of a romantic gesture is remembering to take out the trash on his girlfriend's birthday week.
He's a master of empty promises, forgotten anniversaries, and last-minute cancellations.
He expects his partner to be the sole caretaker of their emotional connection, showering him with affection and attention while he sits back and enjoys the show.
The truth is, Ethan's laziness is a symptom of a deeper issue, his fear of vulnerability.
In the realm of love, emotional availability is the golden ticket, the key that unlocks the deepest chambers of the heart.
It's the ability to connect on a profound level, to share your innermost thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or rejection.
But what happens when you encounter someone who's built an impenetrable fortress around their heart, their emotional drawbridge permanently raised?
Let me introduce you to Olivia, the queen of emotional unavailability.
Olivia is a master of deflection. Her favorite phrases being, "I'm fine, it's not a big deal," and the ever-popular, "I'm not looking for anything serious."
She's a chameleon, adapting to her surroundings, mirroring the emotions of those around her without ever truly revealing her own.
She's convinced that the only way to protect herself from getting hurt again is to remain emotionally detached. A lone wolf roaming the vast and unforgiving wilderness of love.
So, there you have it, folks. 10 behaviors that are about as appealing as a week-old tuna sandwich in the dating world. Remember, self-awareness is key. Take a good hard look in the mirror and ask yourself if any of these toxic traits sound a little too familiar. If you're serious about breaking free from the shackles of singledom, it's time to confront your demons, ditch the baggage, and embrace the messy, beautiful, and often hilarious journey of finding love. Subscribe to Man of Thoughts for more brutally honest advice and darkly comedic insights into the human condition.